Welcome, welcome. Hold up, let me fix my welcome to the Trapidemics channel. Let me fix my mic, y'all. Today we will be going over Tyler Oliveria, him exposing the Yiddish community, the Jewish community over there this time in New Jersey. Last month or 2 months ago, he went to New York, absolutely exposed them. It wasn't too good. So we're gonna get into it and see what we got going on today. Let's get ready. Let's see what we got.
Taxpayer to fund you and how many kids you want to have. If you want to have 30 kids, that's
No.
just how it is.
I'm
It's the
arguing
law.
that if the law is set up to have certain criteria for people and it's according to children, then
Group of people that call themselves God's people. You are a Semite supremacist.
Elon Musk has 12 kids. Why can't I have 12 kids?
He pays for them. You're arguing that I should pay for your kids.
I'm arguing that the government said.
That's our money. I pay taxes.
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing? Should I call the cops on you? Okay, that's it.
We may be in a corrupt hellhole. So what am I being pulled over for?
We got a call. Keep your hands on the steering wheel when you do stuff.
This is Lakewood, New Jersey, home to one of the largest and fastest growing Orthodox Jewish communities in America, having anywhere from 6 to 10 kids per family, causing the community's rapid growth to spill into the neighboring towns of Jackson, Toms River, Brick, and Howell, causing non-Jewish residents to fear that their town will soon be turned into Little Jerusalem, just like Lakewood.
The tactics within this community, I would liken it to
So let me just start by saying that last month he was in New York. This time he's in New Jersey. The Yiddish Jewish community is extremely, extremely strong on the East Coast, particularly New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and also in Florida. So he's here in Jersey. I know this is going to get sticky.
organized crime.
You are the vice chairman of
Opportunities that come up every once in a while, and
The Orthodox Jewish community consolidated political power in Lakewood, taking majority control of the township committee, planning board, zoning board, and school board, financially depleting the public school system for non-Jewish kids, overwhelming local infrastructure, and turning a once quiet town into a densely populated, over-trafficked Jewish enclave prioritizing Jews over non-Jews. Before I investigate the Jewish takeover of Lakewood and of the nearby town of Jackson, I first want to visit the town where the blueprint was born, Muncie, New York.
someone like David Badner saw the opportunity a few years ago. He bought several 50 to 100 houses in Muncie. I believe that he single-handedly, in a certain way, turned around Muncie. These are opportunities that come up every once in a while, and someone has to step up to the plate.
As you can see, they having a board meeting, some type of city hall town meeting, where this committee is saying that in Muncie, New York, or Muncie, New Jersey, some Jewish firm or person bought 50 to 100 homes. Now, he calls this an opportunity. And of course, in some instances, this is opportunity. You know, if there's the real estate market is crashing in certain places, of course, if there's a firm or if there's some Jewish guy who can afford to buy the homes, he should. But in my opinion, these are predatory practices because they go into places that they know are underprivileged, low income, maybe having slumlords, and they'll double the price, offer to buy you out.
Good news. Thanks for meeting up on such short notice, man.
My Muncelandians, you know we here. We outside. We outside.
When did you notice Muncie begin to form as a Hasidic Jewish enclave?
I would say 20 years ago, I saw the first start of it, and then every year it just started to grow exponentially.
Hey, it's me. How are you? Stop what?
They on Tyler. Yo, they on Tyler.
But the Jews here were not happy to see me after I asked how they afford 7 to 10 kids on a single income and if they were on welfare in Curious Joel. How many kids do most people have out here?
17, 18.
How do they afford 17, 18 kids?
They are proud to do what the Torah says, that you need to be multiple and fruitful.
How do
All right. So this is where it gets sticky because in their religion, you know, even in the Christian religion, they're taught to be fruitful and to multiply. So they're very orthodox people. They live by the book. So if the Torah is telling them to be fruitful and to multiply, and you see these people within 20 years quadruple their population, quadruple their presence, quadruple their schools, churches, laundromats, any type of business you can imagine. They're technically just living by their religious doctrine. The problem comes into play though when they infract on normal American life, but excluding themselves from American life. So it's like they'll live next to you, but they will never partake with you, never be your neighbor. And this is where it gets sticky.
You afford to study the Torah, though.
God help me.
Does the American taxpayer help you too?
Also, yes.
How do people afford to have such big families out here?
It's the same.
Are you Tyler?
I'm Tyler.
Are you trying to do another anti-Semitism video?
How did I spread anti-Semitism? That's crazy you said that. Life circumstance, different culture. So this is their way.
So crazy how the first thing that is usually called out about any type of investigative journalism into uh, this community, the first thing that's said is anti-Semitism. And frankly, at this point, a lot of us are tired of that because the same people we're investigating other communities in America. It's not just the Jewish community. There are other communities right now that are being investigated for welfare fraud, including the Somali community, white communities, other foreign communities that are doing welfare fraud, and it pops up every day. So, what's the difference between us checking for welfare fraud within this community and any other community? There's no difference. The difference is been a label, a politicized label called anti-Semitism. The second you criticize, the second you report, that's going to be the label drawn right on.
Like, listen, I know you're frustrated about what some of the things we focused on. Is that kind of what I'm getting at? Sure. So, give me some examples of how things were misconstrued. Yeah, what did I get that was wrong?
So it's not necessarily misconstrued. Well, it is misconstrued. There's a lot of it that's you'll cut a lot of it, cut out different words, make it sound a lot worse than it is. There's a lot of people here that are on welfare. A lot of people are in Section 8. A lot of people that are on a bunch of different WIC, food stamps, stuff like that.
Sure.
If you go to any low-income communities, you're going to see that. They're all going to be on the different welfares.
Okay, so they were on welfare.
Yeah.
Okay.
No bit of denying that.
Okay.
But again, it's the way you say it. It's the way you twist it. The way you
How did I twist it?
Not twist it. Again, twist is the wrong word.
I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
Growing up in an extremely... Dude, no.
The insufferable hog.
So let's get into that. Actually, let's actually check what's the difference between the Jewish community using the welfare system for their benefit, and let's say an American person. Let's just say a black woman, right? Single mother, 2 kids, 2 or 3 kids. What's the difference? Now, in my opinion, the difference comes in where it's like the Yiddish community is literally planning, strategizing how to exploit that system. But the funny thing is, now I think about it, there are American people who do the same thing. There are some ratchets in a hood, some little hood rat. Oh, I should have another baby because of tax benefits or this because of that. The difference is though, there's so many Jewish people doing it, so it's kind of like, whoa, what the hell's going on? And then it's like I said, there's no assimilation. So it's not like, an impoverished, let's say, Caribbean family or an impoverished Chinese family coming from China. They move to the hood. They're actually, as much as they may not want to assimilate, they'll be assimilated into the neighborhood, maybe have a store, children go to the same school. They are neighbors. They speak. We may even exchange food. They may even partake in like Christmas, Halloween, things like that. The difference with the Yiddish and Jewish community is if they're your neighbor, they look at you as other than, and everything that you hold dear to you within your culture, they will never partake in. So it's kind of like you have a neighbor, but it's a stranger. And yeah, that's
best interest of the public school community.
You don't like it? Fine.
Millions of taxpayer dollars to be spent on their children's religious private schools, ultimately gutting the public school system for the estimated 9,000 black and brown public school students, while diverting that money to their private religious schools.
They give us food.
Let me
That's
rewind.
rotten and it's
Voting. Orthodox Jews. Curious Joel video. Why was that video good?
That video was good because I've been in East Ramapo for as long as I remember. I also went to Spring Valley High School. I've been in the school system, and we've definitely seen a lot of things, especially since our school board was majority private school owners, mainly Jewish white men, and most of our school was not Jewish. And they had control over our public school system over like the past 10 years, purposely voting no on our school budget vote so that way we would fail, and we lost about 3-2 schools.
Basically, through block voting, Orthodox Jews won enough seats to control the East Ramapo School Board and went on to eliminate hundreds of public school positions like teachers and social workers, while approving millions of taxpayer dollars to be spent on their children's religious private schools, ultimately gutting the public school system for the estimated 9,000 black and brown public school students, while diverting.
Now, this is where the people, especially American citizens, get pissed off. But we also have to understand as American citizens, there are things that we lack within our community that allow us to be exploited like this. The Jewish community, you've seen they just got themselves on the school board, a school board that they were never even present for 20 years ago. There was no Jewish presence in this neighborhood 20 years ago. Now, the entire school board is Jewish. Now, we criticize it, say, oh, they're in these positions of power. There's only a certain amount of percent of them, and they're all at the heads of these certain board positions. But the thing is, they strategize for that. They want to be on these board positions. They communicate with each other like, oh, we want our children to have these values. We want this for our neighborhood. We want this type of funding. Let's all make sure we're on the board. We all vote for each other so we get on and get our interests pushed. The problem with us as Americans is we're so much busy running around living our lives. Half of us aren't even going into PTA meetings. Half of us aren't even doing homework with our children or even understanding what they're into socially. And we have really no control over our youth. So we don't put ourselves into these positions to be able to control what's going on around them. The funding that they get, the programs that they get, the tax benefits that you can get. The Jewish community does that. And the fact that they do that so well, that's where us as Americans or other people, because they're American too, but that's where us as the regular civilians, the citizens, we get a little bitter because we're looking while we're living our fantasy lives, running around paying these bills, stressed out. There are other communities that will use the legal systems and legal things that we have, put themselves in position of power to benefit themselves.
That money to their private religious schools.
they give us food that's rotten and it's cold and it hurts our stomach.
I ask you, do not take our music program away. I love playing an instrument. My brother would be crushed.
And the budget cuts were so.
And you wonder where all these music programs go, where these school programs go. Like all these public schools, there's probably no more music programs in them. When I was coming up, there was a music program. They gave us a mandatory recorder in like the third grade to play. All the way up, we had band. Now, all these programs are being removed, and you ask yourself why. Well, maybe maybe not all, but certain neighborhoods, they're being removed so that those funds can be diverted to other communities. So it's not that the funds aren't available, but they're being put themselves in positions where they can say, well, we want the funds. And they get the funds.
So devastating that in one instance, an elementary school shut down and the majority Jewish school board then voted to sell it to a Jewish yeshiva for pennies on the dollar. Basically, the poorest, most vulnerable kids in these communities had their schools gutted and looted, all by a majority Jewish school board whose kids didn't even attend public school.
We believe that some of the decisions that have been made by the board have not been in the best interest of the public school community.
You don't like it, find yourself another place to live.
Your education?
My education.
If you don't like it, find yourself another place to live. You have to understand that this is what it is. This could be historically your neighborhood. Your grandmother has a house there. Your great grandmother gave her the house. You've been there for 10 generations, 6 generations. And now they're telling you if you don't like it, move somewhere else. It's a tough here, but Americans, you need to wake up. You need to put yourselves in more positions of power so that this can't happen. And we have to have random reporters from YouTube talking about it, going out on the streets to figure it out because the mainstream media would never, ever talk about it.
It was decent, but it definitely could have been better if we had the resources that we were allowed.
Involved. Anyway, so I don't know.
Permits to expand on their house. Most of the permits are just, kind of just given. Nothing is really followed through.
Okay.
This home will be being used for a full out temple.
Temple.
Yeah. Well, that means that they're going to be praying in this home several times a day, probably staying over on Friday nights until Saturdays. As you could see, there's no parking lot here. This is going to affect every person that lives here. And the other problem that I have with this and that I think should be looked into is there's definitely funding going to these places.
If I was a concerned neighbor and I said, hey, they're building a temple, what the hell? What might happen next?
You would probably be called an anti-Semite. They will make your life miserable. Nobody wants to live across the street to a synagogue. It is a tactic of getting people to sell their homes, and they will have buyers for them.
And you see this, and then you watch buildings get built before they're approved. They build and ask permission later, and then if they even don't get permission, they sue and they win for permission. So when you have all these things where they're creating hatred, they create the double standard, they create the animosity between two groups. And when I say they, I mean governments and people that buy off politicians to make favorable laws, because a lot of the shit they do is legal because they bought the politicians to make it legal.
Do you think residents...
That's the problem. The main problem is they have the legal backing to do all this stuff. They are lawyers, they are politicians, they are in all these positions of power. Whereas, like he said, you will have to go get a permit to go build that building that you want. You'll have to go to your county, local city, county office to apply for this permit, this paperwork. You have to get this inspected. You need to get this surveyed. They, on the other hand, will build before anything, go get the paperwork, like he said. And if it doesn't work out, they'll have Mordecai sue to make sure that the paperwork goes through and get it approved while causing all that traffic, like the lady said, making you want to move, leave your neighborhood. They'll double the price for you. Let's say your home's 150,000. Now they offer you 400,000. So they're offering you $400,000 on top of the fact that they built a synagogue across your house, and the synagogue is having 200 people parking around your quiet street neighborhood. Then when you go outside and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" They just look at you and look down. Then when you're at the park, your kids are playing there, they pull their kids away from your kids. So it just causes you to say, "Why do I want to live here? This was historically your neighborhood, and now you find yourself being bought out of your neighborhood." And the funny thing is, and then in your neighborhood, your house goes, they gave you 4x on your home, but in 10 years, the home 10x.
Rules don't apply. Yeah, the trash cans. We have a problem now in Jackson with rats, which we've never had before. It's definitely a concern. It's a complete religious enclave, yes.
And this bus right here is paid for by a Lakewood taxpayer, correct?
Correct.
We're walking. We're trying to walk. You got to... Yes. Call the cops.
Here, it's strictly about religion, nothing else. All these men going to yeshiva until they're 35 years old, they're not producing college students. They're not producing people that are going to go and benefit the greater good of our society.
It's sort of an investment in a insulated one-way economy.
Correct. Without
Hello.
anybody contributing.
How are you? Our Phil.
So there we go again. We ask ourselves, why are people so quote unquote anti-Semitic or against this or against that? It's not that anybody's against anything. It's just there's no assimilation. You guys, like you said, within your religion, within that religion, that doctrine, a lot of the men up to the age of 35, they don't work. They just study the religion and practice it, maybe get married, have a few children. But even within them getting married and having children, they still can't religiously work. They have to complete, and I could be wrong, but they have to complete something. So we're having men from the age of 15 to 35 not working, not assimilating, having no interest in true American ideals or any type of like putting into going to this university, working here amongst you, putting taxes into the system so it could benefit you or your public school. It's just an outcasting way. They outcast themselves all the way up to the age of 35. So you have no type of productive men, not producing anything well. You're not producing the best of society. And then at the same time, looking at and taking all the positions of power. This is why people are speaking up about it. It's just that simple. It's not anti-Semitism.
A little documentary.
Are entitled to get when the Republican pressure from all the political types.
It seems like it's only for one group and one community. And
who's that?
It's over. I don't know if you can stop them, and I'm not saying you can, but that doesn't mean you don't fight it. That doesn't mean you don't do what you can to do it. And you had people like Chris Pollock that he said, "I'm going to do it the way of politics."
Okay, so Chris, I see these homes being built. Why are the locals so opposed to these houses being built? It seems still pretty peaceful out here. What's going on? What changes have you noticed?
well, it's becoming rapid changes and rapid development. You're going to be seeing a heavy increase in the population. And I don't know if our town is suited to handle it. Unfortunately, I've heard from several people that some developments only particularly want one group in there. It's people have gone in there and asked, hey, I'm interested in these homes. Some of them have been told it's not for them. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It seems like it's only for one group and one community. And
who's that group?
It seems like it's only for the Jewish community. I'm going to be honest. But when you
Let me speak on that. A lot of these developments, a lot of these new buildings that you see going up in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg and Bed-Stuy, Flatbush, East Flatbush, you ride around and you look and you'll be like, oh wow, this new building here, okay. And there's a housing crisis in New York. A lot of adults, they don't have enough apartments for adults. There's like so many grown people with roommates, either out of cost and there's just not availability. So within the past few years, they've been building a lot of new buildings, like gentrifying, if you want to call, putting luxury apartments in the middle of the hood. But it could be a good and a bad thing. I view it as a good thing. We need apartments. But when you look into these apartments, you kind of look and you see that every single occupant is Jewish. And it makes you wonder, like, can I get in there? Like, is this only just for them? And then when you end up applying for the place, you get denied. Well, like we go back to saying, they've built the property before they even got the permit. Then they got the permit from Mordecai, the lawyer at the city council office that they're friends with. Then that apartment may go through some type of like housing vouchers because a certain percentage needs to be a certain amount. So they'll make sure that they know all these numbers, all the applicants that'll go to that apartment will be from their community. Everyone who gets approved will be from their community, and it will be nothing but a Jewish building. So you'll see hundreds of these new apartment buildings going up around places, but you look and you're like, there's only one type of person in here, and there's like for miles for buildings and buildings. So it makes you discouraged to even apply. You know for a fact you're not getting in there. Like, you know, you go to like Williamsburg, Bushwick, or something like that. Like, if there's a building with 6 apartments in there and all 6 are Jewish people, they'll never rent to a white person, a black person, a Chinese person. So this monopoly is absolutely horrible because we keep going back to the assimilation. Why are people always so critical of these people? Well, because you don't share. Like, you guys populate the school boards. If there's 7 seats, you're all 7 seats. If there's buildings that are coming up in a place that needs housing, who's behind all the contracts? You guys. Then who fills the buildings? You guys. So this is where the sentiment comes in, and then at the same time, you don't benefit anything around you guys. Like I said, you men
You create a community. They have some of them that are adding shuls into it, essentially synagogues into it. They're fitting the houses to fit this very specific needs of one community. Do you think anybody other than that community is going to move into there?
They technically cannot discriminate against a non-Jew purchasing a home, right?
No, you cannot discriminate against anybody buying a home.
But they could just say, hey, sorry, we sold it to someone else.
Yes,
That's
they can.
legal.
I've heard people say, oh, we'll put you on the waiting list, because that's something that's going on.
LLCs are outbidding people trying to buy single-family homes.
Correct.
But you have a group of people that call themselves God's people. You are a Semite supremacist. You are a white Jewish supremacist because they're classified white. They don't want to live as a community with us. I think when I say they, again, I don't mean all of them. I do think I mean the far majority of them. I think they have their tight-knit community. I think their community lives completely separate than everybody else. They eat differently. They enjoy different things. Yes, we might drink, but everything is set in a different way.
As you ran for city council, did the rabbinical order try to buy you off?
I don't really have any relationship with the rabbis, but I have been taking a meeting with people who said they were liaisons to the rabbis. They went around touting how many votes they controlled. They told me pretty much straight out that they control certain politicians in town. And if I cater to their community, I might have access to the block vote.
Who did they say they control?
They said they control our mayor and our council president.
After a year, I couldn't bear it anymore. So I got involved. I hired a political campaign group out of Washington, D.C. that does political campaigns for Republican senators. I think they did Ted Cruz. And I wrote a letter to the mayor of Jackson telling him all the things I was going to do if they wouldn't reverse these discriminatory laws. In the meantime, there's another Jewish group called the Aguda that had a lawsuit against Jackson based on
Guys, gotta learn how to be a Karen. Like, if you want, the thing is though, we have a complete different mindset than a lot of the Semites. Not even the Semites, the Jewish people. Not like we're gonna say, not all, but majority. Complete different mindset. Their mindset is literally to be fruitful and spread the land and be God's chosen people and populate it and bring kids into the world and be fruitful and worship Him. Necessarily on paper, it doesn't sound bad, but it's like us Americans, we've been living in this fantasy world for so long that when we finally understand that we've been exposed, like we have so many chips in our armor, and then there's somebody just driving a knife in it and sending it home, it hurts. But all they're doing is using the legal system to their benefit. We're so like pushy people. Like we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to look like we're doing this or this seems wrong. When other groups will be like, listen, man, we voted in for this. We look into these certain laws and we want to drive it home. We don't care if it looks exploited. It's legal. You can't prove that it's exploited. And a lot of these times, these people are lawyers and they're very good with legalese. So this is where you get into trouble with that.
Lupa. That's religious land use.
Thing they all are.
So there's some.
Good to meet you. Yeah.
I'm stopping you. Can I have your credentials, please?
Do I have an obligation to self-identify right now?
I need you to identify yourself on this stop.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
We're
it's
filming
a
little
lawful stop
documentary
because
piece.
they described your vehicle to a T.
Totally get it. I'm just trying to figure out if there's actual.
Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah, I can tell you what we're up to. If that's.
I just want to know who you are.
Yeah, my name's Tyler.
Oh, very good. My name is Jonathan. Like, explain that
Yeah,
to
good
you.
to meet you.
I stopped you.
Totally get it. Yeah, we're just talking about the changes in the town here.
Yeah.
We went to that school specifically
Okay,
because
but
it shut down.
It's very. You see what I'm saying? Like when you have a camera
Sure.
in front of a school.
The problem with these freaking police officers, like our police are so compromised. It doesn't make sense. Like our police are so compromised. These guys are literally like they don't understand that they're the true version of a pawn to the government, pawn to lobbyists. It's just so brain dead. This is America. You're stopping a man with a camera for recording a takeover for a crime happening, legal crime in your town, but your police commissioner, your lieutenant, everybody's bought and paid for by this community, your mayor, So you cater to these people. You don't uphold the Constitution for shit. And what's the legal ramifications for you stopping anybody with a damn camera? You stooge.
With kids, I
I
mean,
can
if my
understand.
kids go to that school,
Sure.
I wouldn't want my kids to be video recorded.
Sure, we didn't enter the school. We were on the
confidentiality.
sidewalk,
It
basically.
doesn't matter if you're in a certain distance of a
Okay.
school.
All right, sure. You can have it.
And just do me a favor, keep your hands on the steering wheel when you do so. Thank you so
Hands on the steering wheel.
Scared. Like these guys are cowards. You know, they have to assert their power in any way possible. Hands on the steering wheel. I'm only here because you have a camera filming, doing nothing illegal. You're filming other crimes happening, but keep your hands on the steering wheel as protocol because I'm afraid. Like these guys are just stooges.
Yeah, I just don't know what's in the car. Like I said, I don't know
Come
who you are.
on.
I don't know who you are.
That seems a little extra.
No, that's
Definitely extra. But you can have it. There you go.
Thank you so much. I'm not saying I'm giving you a ticket or
Sure.
anything like that. I'm just
These guys, when stuff hits the fan, they're gonna pull their weapons out against us. So just all this back to blue and like, oh my uncle's an officer. Trust me, if he's giving an order, he'll blow you down. No home. Exactly what I mean. Put you in cuffs. Look at these guys.
Hey, you got the badge, man. Yeah, do your thing.
No, it has nothing to do with having a badge or anything like that.
Then
Stay near the car, okay? Don't come near us.
is this slightly excessive?
It's absolutely.
It seems like a bully tactic. Run around.
Yeah, well, I don't know who placed that phone call.
How you doing, man? How are you?
How we doing?
Doing good. Getting pulled over. You know what we're up against? Small town police department, small town politics, lots of money. All right, so apparently the reason why these cops came out of thin air is because who just got called?
Well, we're going to find out. The council president just called me.
So who is Morty Bernstein?
He is the council president in Jackson, New Jersey, and the most powerful man in the town.
Does he have the police in his pocket?
I don't think he has the police in his pocket at all, but the man does have an incredible amount of power. He's involved in political action committees with very rich and powerful developers, a lot of political connections.
Who are we messing with here right now, Chris? Was this a mistake? Is this video a mistake, man?
I'm going to be honest. The powers out here are pretty immense. Like I said, it goes up. You have billionaires from Lakewood being involved in what's going on in Jackson. People connected to the president of the United States.
If we zoom out, where does this all?
We all have to be aware of this. So you got Tyler Oliveira exposing this community. You have what's the other kid's name? Nick something exposing the other community in Minnesota for the same type of fraud. But this dude Tyler, he's already currently he gets no ads from his specifically these Jewish videos he's put out. I believe he diverted everyone to his Patreon. I think his Patreon just been shut down. So this is showing you what's happening. Who controls what? Who's truly in power? So the more we expose it, the more we understand what's happening. But guys like Tyler, independent journalists who expose things like these, they're the ones that get hurt. And we're the ones who get hurt as well because we don't know any of this stuff. Before these things were exposed, these were just rumors. Like, oh, Jewish people abuse the welfare system. They have all these kids. How do they afford it? We kind of think like, oh, well, they probably have real estate, landlord. They have all this stuff. We also see, they have stores, all these different things. Thought they were just supporting the home, but when you do a deeper dive, you find out that a lot of them don't even work until they're 35. That's the reason why they're on the welfare, and then that's the reason why they have so many kids is because they're using a legal loophole to have the kids, to benefit from having the kids, to get the housing, to get the food, to get the tax breaks, to get all these benefits. So I don't even know if their religion is truly built in like that, or if they built certain aspects of the religion around the American laws. So it's like, oh, my husband doesn't work. He cannot work until he's 35. So obviously I need welfare. And then it's part of my religion to have 10 kids. So obviously I need welfare. Then she only works, a regular job, even if she can, because she has 10 kids. So of course they're going to receive that. And it's legal. So, guys, let me know what you think. Like the video, please. This is my first live video. I plan on doing much, much topics like this, maybe some funny stuff. We'll get into it, but like the video, subscribe, share.